Hello, and welcome to the very fourth episode of Waterdeep. Sorry, no, hang on. That's the one we're doing today, isn't it? Waterdeep Mallrats.
Yeah.
Tales from the Yawning Portal. So some of you may have missed a few details about last week because we did have a few technical problems, so we had to stop a little early. So what we will do is I'm going to quickly run through some things that happened to try and give you up to speed. But before we do that, I just want to check up with everybody and see how everyone's doing today on this beautiful Monday afternoon. It's very sunny, very beautiful, very new, especially where we are. But Kurt, how about you? How's the weather?
I think it's fine. I haven't been outside yet. I'm really quickly checking my app, but it's the Los Angeles. It's 64 degrees Fahrenheit, so that's actually my sweet spot. I'm happy.
Nice.
It's the come of the world when you look at your phone instead of looking behind you out the window.
Well, I mean, I come from the Midwest, where just because it's light out doesn't mean it's warm. So had to check.
Very true. I always don't know why, but I really enjoy checking the weather with Kurt because it does feel like it's on like WCAKM 495. Welcome to the weather.
Yeah.
So,
At the top of the hour.
But how have you been this week, Kurt? You've been well?
I've been well, coming off of a weekend of pretty much just still sheltering in place. It's been good. It's been low key. It's been relaxing. Mm-hmm. So
and the podcasts are going well.
Yes. I had a couple podcasts recorded this weekend, which were a lot of fun. But otherwise, just kind of was looking forward to this.
Yeah.
Haven't played since last Monday, so.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But, just remind us the name of your podcast, just in case everyone wants to go and have a listen.
So the website through which I podcast is called Rob Has a Podcast, which covers a lot of reality television. And the specific podcast I do along with 5 other co-hosts covers the cooking competition show Top Chef. We've been podcasting about that for 6 seasons now. We actually had a former winner on as a co-host this weekend. That was a lot of fun. And then also did a kind of a guest host on an escape room podcast on that same network, where one of the listeners had created a kind of theater of the mind escape room for the hosts, and I had helped play test it, so I also kind of came on to provide hints and nudges as if people got lost. It was a productive weekend. A lot of fun.
Sounds great. Yeah. And Rob, how are you feeling this week?
I am doing very well, thank you. I'm Rob, not Rob as a podcast, Rob. Rob plays D&D with his friends, Rob. Things are good. I've been playing my GameCube emulator on my laptop and having a whale of a time. No complaints here. Haven't had any more bots. Wind Waker. Legend of Zelda Wind Waker right now.
Oh.
Also downloaded Time Splitters Future Perfect. For anyone that hasn't played that, please, for the love of God, play it. It's the best game ever made.
And of course, in our other campaign, Alora, the pirate campaign that we played together, your B-team character got taken over by Cthulhu, which was fun, wasn't it? Wasn't it fun when I took over your character and made them attack
That was
things?
fun. So much fun that my A-team character had to kill my B-team character.
That's so Cthulhu.
It's so
That's
Cthulhu.
the first time that's happened in my D&D career, where I've killed one of my own characters. So all that fucking work I did in backstory.
This is what happens if you're a warlock and you decide to have a little joke and say that you worship a dragon instead of your patron.
Yeah. Never tell jokes, kids. That's the lesson we learn here.
I thoroughly enjoyed the ceremonial deleting of your backstory whilst we were on that campaign. You're like, yep, not gonna need that anymore.
Myself and Gabs had a toast to Datmar the dead instead of Datmar the mad. We drank to his honor that evening.
Yes.
That's a good point. Let's go over to Gabby. Gabby. How you doing?
Hi. I'm good, thanks. I'm trying to think what I've been doing. I completed GTA Vice City.
Oh.
So now I'm on San Andreas.
Okay.
I can commiserate. I actually beat Red Dead Redemption this weekend too.
Oh, yeah.
That's like finishing War and Peace when it comes to video games.
Yes. See, so lockdown went productively.
Very, very nice.
You don't
Yeah.
like San Andreas, though, do you? You're not a
No.
fan.
Not as much. No, not as much. No.
I love
I mean, there
Sunless.
are elements of it that I wish were in Vice City, but Vice City I played when I was a kid because my brother had it. So I have so much like memory, like it. I have so much memory of it, but then also being able to complete it, I'm like, yes, I finally, like 1-0 to me instead of my super clever brother, like being able to do all of my missions for me. I'm like, finally, at Fleshy, yes.
She turned to me at one stage and she was like, "How can you take a perfect game like Vice City and then fuck it up by making San Andreas?" And I was like, we are not sleeping in the same room tonight.
Wow. Okay, I'm just expecting some viewers just to start going like, oh, really?
Yeah.
Which does remind me, actually, on the chats today, of course, we've got the wonderful Dan, who will be dealing with our chats today. So if you do have an issue with San Andreas versus Vice City, please do pop it on there, and I will, I don't know, do more attacks on Oshisota because of it.
We also hate mail and death threats if you want.
Whoa.
Good. Okay. Well, actually, let's go over to Dan then, and see how your week has been, Dan.
So I had a crazy couple of weeks. So this week I've decided to sort of take my foot off the pedal and indulge in those, two of the wonderful S's in life, sunshine and Skyrim. Just carrying on the video game theme. I had Skyrim ages ago, played it for a little bit and never picked it back up again. So now I don't have enough fantasy in my life, to D&D campaigns and now this, and I've decided to not follow any of the story. I just sort of walked out and turned right, and I'm a vampire now. Life is good, but yeah, I've also finally been able to enjoy the sunshine, and we've got this tiny little sun trap part of our roof terrace. So I'm on a crash mat, I'm doing it proper, proper cheap style. No deck chairs for me. But I'm having to wiggle my way across as the sun changes. Every half an hour I have to sort of shuffle myself across because of all the shadows. But yeah, it's been a really nice restful week.
Don't forget the third hidden S there, which is sleeveless as well. You've gone for that too.
Sleeveless. Yeah, this is there's a period in my life which is about 10 months out of the year when I just don't wear sleeves because I'm too warm.
Fucking lunatic.
Yeah.
Dan walks up in the middle of winter wearing shorts and a fucking vest. Oh, was anyone else roasting?
Sweating. Oh god.
So good. Okay, well let's pop over and see Evie. How are you doing, Evie?
Hello. Yeah, no, I'm doing all right, thank you. For anyone who doesn't know, I don't think any of you watching would know, I was in isolation for 2 weeks because I moved back down to my parents. So I got out of isolation at some point last week. Yay! So I've very much been just stretching my legs. I just walk everywhere now. I've been out and about quite a bit. Just enjoying the freedom and not being stuck in between four walls. So yeah, it's been great. And we have a golden retriever. So I just constantly am playing with her because she's a lunatic. She's lovely. Yeah, so it's just been loads of that. And the sun helps.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does a little bit, doesn't it?
A little bit, yeah. That's me. It's just been very chilled. Very chilled.
That sounds perfect. Absolutely perfect. Well,
How have you been, Joe?
I know what. I have been fine. Thank you very much. I've
getting those brownie points from the DM there. Just a heads up.
Well done. I've had a great week. I've been, killing people's characters, which is always my favourite thing to do. Computer game wise, I've been playing Horizon, and I've actually
Zero Dawn.
Zero Dawn, indeed. And I've got to be honest, it's one of my faves now. I really enjoy a sandbox game where I can do whatever I want and not worry about the story for a bit. Especially one that has such a strong female characters as well, which is always a big cool. But yeah, I got into that quite a lot. And then the other one I've been playing a bit more is I've been going back to Destiny. And sort of hitting that quite hard again. But again, as usual, I've just forgotten how repetitive it is. It's a beautiful game, don't get me wrong, but it's like suddenly there's a cinematic moment. You're like, I have no idea why this cinematic moment is here, and nor do I understand it.
Have you played the sequel to Destiny?
See, this is why, because I just downloaded that, so I was like, okay, I'm going to replay the first one.
I hear Destiny's Child is quite fun as a sequel.
Yeah, Skirt from Calais.
I didn't even know there was a sequel, so I kind of stumbled into that. Joe's like, yes. I'm like, oh crap, there goes the joke.
I wish I was that on the ball at 7 in the morning.
Yeah.
Coffee's my friend.
Oh yeah, cup full of whiskey. Okay.
Coffee.
Alrighty. So I'm going to jump into the last time on Waterdeep Mallrats, if that's okay. So the last session we had, the guys were told that they can go find a dragon and bring it back to the kobolds for some sort of gift that they would get at the end of it all. So they kind of made their way through to actually, let me just kind of it's fine. They got way through to a big open chamber where they kind of saw a dragon's fountain, which they managed to get some sort of magical liquid from by sort of speaking a particular phrase. But they noticed that there was tracks going north, 4 humanoid tracks and a bunch of like rat tracks. So they went northwards, found their way into an old prison, and attacked a few more rats, which was fun, and continued to kind of follow these tracks until they found a sort of bigger sort of queen rat who they decided to kill, whose name was Guthash, should I say. But they found one of the adventurers that had gone before them, who was found dead inside the rat nest. So they kind of made their way back and followed the footsteps that now had a set footsteps of 3 that went south and then west. And they found themselves being attacked by goblins over a wall and a long corridor calthrops. Let's go with calthrops. Straight across the floor. And a small creature in a cage called Urki managed to help them out and burn a goblin, helping them get across. Finally, they kind of made their way around. They met Urki, who was actually, I'm going to let Kurt talk about Urki. So what did Urki bestow upon them?
Other than a bunch of just general awesomeness, he burned the goblin with holy fire. He was released from his cage, and he informed them that he is here at the behest of Myliki, the oak lady, the woman of the forest, the nature deity that he reveres. She and her clergy, at least through her clergy, had detected there was some sort of an arboreal abomination in this area, some sort of evil tree or something similar. He was sent to investigate. He was unfortunately captured by this group of goblins, and all he knows is that he's been held captive here for a couple months. He's seen a band of like 3 adventurers were kind of with him for a couple weeks, but then taken to some sort of grove below this level, where this tree that he apparently has been seeking out is being tended by some person named Belloc that he suspects might be a druid, and it's this tree that he has also heard grants these 2 fruits at midsummer and midwinter. The one highly healthful healing of property, and then the midwinter root, which is white as snow, is kind of poisonous and just evil to the touch. And he's decided he will join this crew and help them in their efforts, in the hopes that he will eventually get down to investigate this tree further.
Great. And of course, the crew was far more interested in getting dragons than looking at anything else that would be in the adventure.
Dragons are very exciting.
Yeah,
so.
Dragons are very exciting, even little ones. So you end up getting into a battle together with a couple of goblins that were firing again over a wall, which you managed to crush. before Tunk decided to slump on the floor and cry as it lies out,
Oh yeah.
which was a real.
Tunk's had it rough.
Yeah, that was real rough.
He's got a hard life.
Oh, little tongue.
Poor Tunk. Well, so should we jump straight back into it and go straight into
Yeah.
some D&D?
Let's play some D&D.
D&D. Okay, great. Cool. So, this is the thing. Every time I make a playlist on Spotify, I listen to a lot of drum and bass, and every time I put in D&D, I always put D&D. So I keep finding these mixes that I've made with like D&D for Joe, and I'm like, what is that? I'm just like, whoa, okay, that's not fantasy music. And it's almost like happens without my brain even thinking about it, which is a shame. But never mind. But hey, my two greatest loves, D&D and D&B. Okay, so
Yes.
oh, and Natalie Scott, yeah. Okay, cool. So you're in this kind of you're in this room, which you've seen have arrows everywhere. There's like stuffed kobolds on the walls that aren't real. They're sort of fabric kobolds full of different arrows. There's this dead goblin on the other side of the wall. And then you just hear from the west, you just hear this as Erky kind of looks across at that door and recognizes that door.
I recognize the door, probably the voice a little bit too, because
Yeah.
I was, if I'm correct, that sounds like one of the kobolds that I was being held captive with.
As he says to the whole group.
Meeple, do you recognize the voice?
Let me just check. You know, I stayed with Dragon most of the time. Let me try to remember. Jerry? Thomas? Oliver? And he can keep going through names, and it's just like it's very clear that he has no idea who this person is.
Thank you, Meeple.
David? And he just sort of carries on in the corner.
And there were no other doors into that room I was being held in earlier where the kobold, that should be the only door into that room, correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
So it's a potentially defensible position.
Yeah. I know what Erky's thinking. Nap
Tunk
time.
kick open door.
Yeah, you can give it a go.
Tunk kick open door.
Okay, so let's do. I think we should do this as a strength check to see. Let's see if you can smack this door.
First roll of the day, first roll of the day.
And literally,
yeah.
it's just like it's foot comes up, and it's like.
Am I still in your like, you picked up Erky and put him like in some sort of container on you? Is that correct?
No, you're in my hood.
Okay.
Yes.
So yeah, so you've got to swing at this door, and it's not worked. Have you still got any blessing on you?
That just lasted a minute, so it may, like literally a minute.
Okay,
So that may have, yeah.
and you realise this door is a lot harder. And as soon as you kick it, you can hear the kobolds behind it like screaming in terror. They're so scared right now.
Did you check if it's locked?
No, Tunk just likes to kick doors.
Okay, excuse me, Tom. Can I have a look? Oh, she comes over.
Wicked. So let's do let's do an investigation on the lock. Because you kind of assume, looking at this door, you can see that it looks very much like a prison door. So it's wooden. It's got like a small cage section which you can flip back and flip forward. Sort of a cage that you've seen before.
Is it like Erky's cage?
Very different to Erky's cage. It's
Very different.
It's more like a prison.
Okay. And there's this part that we can open and close?
Yeah.
Okay, Oshisota slides the trap open and looks inside.
As you kind of see all of the kobolds sort of tied to a stick and they're like trying to cower away with the door being open slightly.
Oh, okay.
You see,
She turns around and tells the group.
yeah, you see 3 of them in there.
Okay. And yeah, and then she tries to. She wants to see if she can pick the lock.
Okay, cool. So let's do some thieves' tools with some dexterity.
Ooh.
Wicked, very nice.
True to form. She's
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't
There
jinx
we
me.
Cuckoo. And it's like as soon as the door opens, the stink that comes out of this room is horrific. It's definitely somewhere which is sort of squalor, it's low ceiling. There's like large iron spikes driven into the floor, which is where the guys are all kind of manacled, tied to. There's some old skeletons there, and of course there's another cage very similar to Berkeley's cage at the end, at the back of the room.
Erky peeks around. Yep. This is where they held me.
And they just go, okay.
They're useless. No, I tried to like plot an escape with them for weeks, and they could not hold a plan in their head for more than like 10 seconds. It was really frustrating.
Okay. And as if they've forgotten.
Surprised they remember my name.
Oshisota calls Pups over and says, "It smells like you, Pups. Come over, have a look."
Oh, well,
Oh, shots fired.
thank you very much. I'm interested.
And literally the second you come around the corner, all of them start like panicking and trying to move, and you can see them like trying to pull the chain off their own hands. You can see the blood start to kind of come from their hands as they're terrified.
It's okay. It's okay. I'm a good goblin. I understand that you are the goblins have hurt you, but I am not here to hurt you. I am your friend.
And Oshi's translating in Draconic this whole thing.
But what does she say?
Thank you.
She says, "This is a smelly goblin, an incontinent goblin, but not a scary goblin."
They're like, yes. they calm down a little bit. And they're like, you speak Draconic?
And she answers yes in Draconic, and she gestures Meepoo over.
And they're like, and then like they turn their faces away from it.
So she pushes Meepoo back out of, like, she pushes him out the way so they can't see him anymore.
She rummages around to see if there's a different kobold on our side that she can
Get the other one. Get the other one.
How about this one?
Maybe you'll like this
Get the
one.
other one.
And they're like, why do you travel with it?
We were given him as a guide. Do you think he's a good guide?
And it says, them. They are a bad keeper of dragons.
Oh, we've heard as much as well. And she goes into the room. Just one step.
They're like raising their shackled hands towards you.
She kind of just ignores them. She wants to look at the cage at the end.
Okay, so you go back.
That's where I was kept.
Oh, okay.
I think. I'm assuming that's the cage that
That's
is in there.
correct. That's correct.
I apologize. I'm responsible for about 20% of the smell in here.
And all the kobolds are like, yeah, that's true.
Very.
Note there's only 4 of us total, so I did not contribute the majority, and I look at the kobolds.
Okay, and they're like, will you help us? Free us?
And she turns to the group and says, "Should I free them?"
Fairy, are these your friends?
they're not my enemies. They were nice. They were nice enough. They're not friends of the goblins. So to me, that means, the enemy of my enemy is my friend, I suppose.
So Tunk, having only heard my friend, I suppose, and not having understood the rest, goes, "We should free the little red doggies."
And they you look towards the kobolds, and they've got that kind of like the Japanese anime kind of eyes.
Oh, can I keep one?
I think Pups sort of maintaining this sort of very, very official sort of hand gesture out is don't worry, we're going to save you. We're going to try to help.
And literally one of them turns to the other one and speaks to the Draconic and goes, "He doesn't know that we speak common." He's like, "Yeah, I think he's stupid." "Yes, he must be stupid. Look at him, he's wearing white. Why would you wear white?" "I think he's got shit on him." "Yes, I think he's got shit on him." And
That's correct.
Oshi, you hear all of these things going on.
Yeah, and Oshi says, "Oh, okay, yeah, you do pick up signals. You do retain some information. You've done a good read on our friend here," and starts working away on the closest one. No, the furthest one's away. Their locks.
Cool. Let's have a look. So I'm going to say we do one roll for like all of them, just to speed up.
Okay.
What would it be? Thieves' tools?
Yeah, Thieves' tools again. Yeah, thanks.
And
I don't know.
No, 19. Okay, good. So so literally, they pop off like party poppers and come off of their arms. They're like, "Thanks," and then they literally clump together and leg it past you guys. Screaming.
Do they get on each other's shoulders and put a big trench coat over themselves?
And they run like hell, screaming. Essentially back through you guys and then back towards the culture room, and they're just running like and they run. You presume back towards the kobolds, and now you've kind of got this empty, smelly room with the single door, as Urki has said, a very defensible door.
So Tunk, a single tear rolls down Tunk's eyes as he realizes his only chance of owning a red doggy has faded. And he just said, "The red doggy ran away."
And then you put your hands down and like off your tear, and then your hands lands on the top of the head of Nipu. And he looks up at you. And he goes, "Papa?" And you look at him.
Popo? Me too?
Papa? And we have this kind of five-all Papa moment. As he literally goes,
"Oh my god.
Poo-poo?
Papa? American tailing to this."
And he kind of like gets him off you, gets away from you. And it's just like, "I am not a red duck."
Okay. And then strokes him very hard on the face like he has done before. Yeah.
But when you stroke him, you kind of feel the amount of scars and like scratches and things like this from, I presume, from a dragon all over his body. Is clearly somebody who has been attacked many times by this dragon.
Well, Tunk just tenderly kind of kneels down and kisses him delicately on the forehead and says, "Tunk will look after you, red doggy."
Thank you, Papa.
It's okay, Papa.
This whole time, Urki is awkwardly in your hood, just like wondering where to look, like trying not to make eye contact with either of you.
Yeah. So take inspiration. In fact, everybody take inspiration because that was a great scene. And I think Baggy, you kind of like you kind of in your tactical brain, especially hearing what Urki said. Your tactical brain sort of kicks in. and you look at this room and this door, and you begin your sort of cogs begin to kind of turn. And think. And you kind of think about like maybe this is a place to have a little nap, maybe defensible place.
Oh, sorry. I thought you said Erky. I'm so sorry.
Oh,
That's all right.
I thought you were talking to
Yeah.
There ain't no cogs turning in Tunk's brain, I'll tell you that.
Baggy was just staring at Erky, going, he looks like he's thinking something. And then she looks around and realizes, this is a great place. She turns to everyone and she says, guys, does anyone else want to hole up here for a bit and have a nap? Because I'm pretty sure it's pretty safe in here. We can bend this place, right? Should all come on in. And she goes into the room and looks around, trying to find what she deems as the comfiest spot to take herself.
I would probably say the comfiest spot would probably be this back corner, because it's the one that has no manacles and no dead bodies near it.
Perfect. So she turns to everyone and says, I'm going in this back corner because there's no dead bodies and there's no manacles.
Okay, out of Tunk, Pups and Erky, who has the highest passive perception?
I don't think it's Tunk.
12.
11.
9.
Okay, so Erky, you remember or notice the bodies of the goblins just over the wall, slumped over the wall.
Yeah, I was wondering. I don't know what's beyond those other doors in the big room, but if we might want to clear out the goblins in case someone comes through, so they don't see that there was evidence. They'll probably find it strange there's no goblins there, but they'll probably find it strange if there's dead goblins there. So we might want to search the bodies and clear them out.
Tunk do clean up?
Yeah.
Tunk go clean up.
Great.
I'll come too. Sota just wants to get the bed mat that Pups put down.
Yeah, so you guys spend a little bit of time and you clear these bodies out. So now we've got some time with Tunk and Oshi together. But on one of the goblins you find a key.
Tunk, what have you got in your hand?
A little sword.
Do you think it's too small for you?
Yeah, probably. Probably
But-
better for fairy.
Probably better for fairy, or maybe the right size for me to keep, just in case.
You're very smart, Archie. Okay.
Thanks.
Here's little sword for you.
Thank you. And she tucks it away in a little pouch that she keeps around her neck.
Looking and examining it, considering you've already picked this lock, you recognise it as the key for the door to the prison. So you'll be able to lock that door, which is useful. You pick up your bedroll, clear that out.
Tunk, do you want a bedroll?
No, Tunk likes the stone.
Okay, good. I'll have two then.
The big Erky on the back of Tunk still. It's literally
The cage I was being held in near the Calcryx room.
Yeah.
Is that movable?
I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say that they had one. Yes, it is. But I think you break it up to get it open.
I think it was a mix of picked and kicked. But I was wondering, if everybody's going to rest in this room, maybe you put Erky in the cage in this main room here, because if any goblins come through, they'll just see him in a cage, which they're used to, but it's the door. They won't necessarily notice that the door is broken or unlocked or whatever. And then he can shout an alarm or warn in some way.
Yeah, that sounds cool. That's a really great idea.
That's a very good idea.
Because if we're all holed up in there, like we open the door and there's like just like 20 goblins surrounding the door with arrows pointing, it's kind of it's defensible, but it's also attackable.
Yeah.
Cool.
Fairy go back in cage?
It's less of a cage now, and it's more of a room, very, very small room in a room.
Oh, okay. Little house for Fairy.
Yes.
I love the way that Urki's getting more and more cynical about this. Yes, very, yes.
Oshi places one of the bed mats in there to make it comfortable for Urki.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, so Urki's going to go here, and you guys all go into the room. And
Yeah.
you're going to have a nice long nap.
Oh, a long nap.
Mhm.
Yay.
Thank Jesus.
I think Pups is going to sit up against the door and just like be against it. So if anyone tries to open it, it'll wake him up.
Mm.
Okay.
And if you hear me shouting that I need water, that's to like some goblins.
Mm.
That's the cue that I should be able to raise a little fuss without them thinking too much.
But what if Fairy actually needs water?
I can actually create it myself, so I'll be fine.
So why would
Checking
Fairy ask for water?
To fool the goblins.
It's a trick, Tunk.
It's a code word, Tunk.
Tunk
Let us
doesn't
know.
understand. Okay, Fairy knows what Fairy does.
Okay. So obviously, this is a long 8-hour night. How long is Urki going to try and take like the first watch then? Or is Urki not going to take a long rest?
He'll need. He would like a long rest. He would probably take first watch.
Mhm.
And then if anything naturally wakes him up after that, so be it.
Okay. Any of you guys, are you going to take a watch, or are you all just going to sleep through?
I
Oshi's
think
going to lock the door.
I was gonna say, yeah, like you probably that's probably a good idea because, yeah, that'll buy you some time in case nothing comes bursting in.
And is there a way, Joe, you know that the kind of trap to open and close to see it, is there a way to pull that all the way out so we can still see out if we need to?
Yeah, you can just literally just
Okay.
let it open.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
I think it's already left open from when you opened it before. I think
Fair.
that's probably the easiest way. All right. So the first couple of hours go by. Nothing happens. So you guys will get your health back, spell slots back, and half of your hit die back as well. So if you used a hit die in the last one, you get it back.
Great.
I think spell slots only kind of go for Urki, I think. Oh, and for Pups as well. Pups gets a few spell slots. So you got those back. So the first sort of couple of hours kind of go without a problem. And Urki, you kind of like feel a little bit more at home. Actually, the kind of being outside was a bit that's weird. But being in the cage kind of feels a bit safe. And you begin to kind of drift off sleep. And you wake up to the sound of 3 voices. I can see the goblins, see the little gnomes still in the box. Yeah. Why aren't they all practicing their archery on him? Yeah. That's a bit weird, isn't it? Yeah. And like one guy walks over and gives it, kind of kicks the cage. Oi! No!
I'm assuming I hear this and wake up.
Yeah.
Can we have placed the door to the cage facing south so it's not like immediately apparent how kind of held just
Yeah, absolutely.
I will stir and wake up, okay, and I'll kind of say loudly, in common. Oh, I could use some water. Your goblin friends took off, and I'll say that. Oh, I could use some water. I'll say that in common, but then in goblin, I'll say it again. Say your friends took off into kobold lands. I don't know why. And they left me without something to drink.
I'm gonna kill those three. He said, what they're for? Alright, I'll kill those four. Can't believe they would even be in our bandit tribe. I know, I never wanted them there anyway.
So guys, if you could do I want to see if you guys hear it. So we're going to do a perception check. I mean, how you really shout this out, don't you?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yes.
Have I lost my point of exhaustion in this time?
Come on, Archie.
Not yet, because it's at the end of a long rest.
Okay, cool. Perception.
Cool. So Oshi's eyes kind of clicks open.
Oh, she's a ninja.
I know.
And the rest.
You are carrying us through this dungeon, Archie.
and literally, all you can hear is.
So how are those relatives of yours that work at Roll20, Gabby?
And you can hear it like you can hear. I would like some water.
What is that? Why is he shouting for water again? Somebody give him some water. I'm not giving him my water. I've only got some vinegar wine. Well, I want to keep my vinegar wine.
And it kind of carries on. He's like, oh, give it here. And he's like, and you can kind of hear this like tuffle and just like, I just want water, shouting up at the goblins. Then you hear this, Oshi.
I guess technically it could have been any shouting do. It didn't have to be a code word. Sorry, Gabby.
That's all right. Oshi goes over to Pups and shakes him awake, and she and then goes over to Baggi and shakes her awake, and then goes over to Tunk and puts her hand over her mouth and whispers in his ear, Tunk needs to wake up now. We have some goblins to fight.
Tunk, I think, having rolled a natural 1, is still very much asleep. I kind of like in his dream goes to the couch of a goblin fighting, and then rolls over and cuddles a skeleton that's nearby him.
He grabs hold of me poo.
Yeah. Red doggy.
It's sort of like lying with you now.
So then Oshi gets the key from the little pouch and shoves it really hard into his ear.
Good God.
Tunk.
So Tunk, for the first couple, kind of like tries to swat them away, and since it persists, eventually wakes up and kind of has that moment of realizing that the things he were dreaming is no longer the reality of the situation. Then feels incredibly betrayed that Oshi has used the little sword to attack Tunk.
And Oshi quickly gives Tunk a couple of silver coins. Shh, Tunk, you've got to be quiet.
So Tunk takes the silver coins, still looking very confused about what's happening and why he received money. Just says, oh, okay. I'm going to say that's 2 silver coins, Oshi.
You can have 2.
Yeah, no, sure.
So you're all
yeah, we're all awake, and we quickly realise that, or Oshi tells them that the code word's been said.
So they Pups will move away from the door into this corner and just whisper to Tunk and go, Tunk, hide and seek.
Hide and seek, Tunk whispered.
Come here.
Am I hiding or seeking?
Hiding. Come and hide with me.
Okay. Gets really excited and goes beside Pups.
Yeah.
And tries to
Baggy-
hunker down and kind of cover his arms over his head. Still extremely visible, but if he can't see them.
Baggy goes into the other corner opposite Pups. Kind of just gives him a signal of like, we're ready, we're on watch.
And Oshi moves next to the cage at the back, hides, and I don't know if I'm allowed to do this. Gestures to Mipu to go and stand the other side of the cage, and then draws an arrow from her longbow.
All right, as you hear,
Hang on a minute. That cage isn't locked.
as one of them looks across at Urki and starts.
Urki will look surprised. Kind of pokes it with one what do you know? Perhaps you can come around here and look it.
Can you do a deception for me?
Pups is going to ready in action, just battle axe up, two-handed.
Deception. Oh, this is going to be good.
He's like,
No, hang on, this isn't right. Something's fishy going on here.
there's another one. He's like,
Should I get my scimitar out? He's like, yeah, you should get your fucking scimitar out.
And this is all in Goblin, right?
yeah, it's all in Goblin.
I will shout in Common. Help!
and Oshi fires. Oshi hears this, and fires an arrow through the little grate to distract them.
So it goes shiggle and it lands just above the cage. They're like, and they don't go into sneaky. They don't start sneaking. So let's do some initiative, shall we?
Spells have not refreshed, correct, Joe?
Not yet. Not until the end of a long rest. That's
Okay.
They roll the right thing. Yeah.
Tunk's still a bit sleepy.
And
all in. That one. Great. Okay. So this goblin's going to go first, and what he's actually going to do is come down here, and he's going to push the gate shut. And he pulls out an object interaction. He pulls out another lock, and locks the gate to your cage. Okay, Baggy.
Okay. Baggy. She through the door. By the way, the door is currently closed that we're in, right?
Yeah, but you've got an eye opening. So just imagine a letterbox, which is open.
Okay, so you can fire arrows through there.
Yeah, you could. Yeah, I mean it's going to be quite heavy. I'm going to say 3/4 cover, which gives them I think it's a +5 to their AC. So it's going to be quite difficult unless you literally go up and put the arrow through the hole.
Yeah.
And use
I think that's what she's going to do. So she takes a couple of steps forward as quietly as she can.
Mm-hmm.
And then with her longbow, she's going to aim actually for the one. She wouldn't be able to get the one. She wouldn't be able to get the one just right by the door, would she?
No, that would also be with disadvantage anyway. But I'm going to imagine you can't quite get that. So
quite. So she's going to go for the one that's just locked.
So this one down here.
Yeah.
Wicked.
With her longbow. Oh no.
Oh.
Okay, so as you stick out the arrow, his hand comes through and grabs hold of your bow and then pulls and snaps the bow as it pulls through. So you've lost it.
Oh,
God.
Okay. So having completely failed at that, Baggy just goes and literally runs immediately back to where she was before, thinking, what am I going to do next, and readying her next 10x weapons, and that's all she's going to do. She's freaked out. She's lost her bow.
Okay, so this goblin's going to come to the door.
Sorry, Joe. My initiative came through late, but I actually rolled an 18, so I think I'm level with Baggi.
There you see. I see it there. Yeah, cool.
Mm.
So let's do you next.
So I'm gonna step into this spot, and I'm gonna grab Tunk's arms and put them around my neck. I've like taken the red and white thing off my head, and I'm sort of acting like he's strangling me, and I'm shouting in Goblin like, "Help me, brothers and sisters! Help! Come in and help!"
Great. Let's do a deception on that.
Come on.
Okay.
We're going to do it with advantage because, you're a goblin, you're using props, and you've taken this stuff off.
With advantage!
So, that would be normal.
Oh, so it'd be normal.
The
So
13.
still a 13.
13, and they can hear outside in Goblin. They go,
They've got one of ours. Which one they got? I don't know. But it's got one of ours. Maybe it's Gary. No, it can't be Gary.
and they kind of like carry on, and they're like,
Well, either way, we got to get in that room.
and you kind of leaves it there. Anything else you want to do?
Yeah, then I'm gonna come around this way and hide if I can. Bonus, I can hide with nimble escape, so they can't see me, so they have to come in.
Yeah, sure. I think it's quite easy to hide in here at the moment. Because there's a door in the way. Okay, Oshi.
Yeah.
Which way does the door open? Does it open in onto us?
It opens, I'm going to say it opens outwards.
Outwards onto them.
Yeah.
Okay. Oshi goes to the door and whispers to everyone that she's going to unlock the door and swing it open.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Because she's got the little key.
So you unlock it.
Yeah, and then she hides here.
Great. Do you want to ready any actions or anything?
Yes, she's got a just a short bow ready.
Okay, so that will
she's
be,
hiding.
just so you know, Gabby, that any ranged attacks that are made within 5 feet are disadvantaged. So I don't know if you would rather use like a melee weapon, like a dagger or a what's the word, rapier or something like that.
Oh, as in when they come in.
Yeah,
so when they come in.
So readying an action would mean that you're essentially going when they
Stab
somebody
them.
steps through the door. I'm going to stab them.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So she's taking a rapier out.
Okay.
And she's holding it high next to her like this.
Great. Okay. So one of the goblins runs through. I'm going to say to here to begin with. So now you can do your attack.
And she attacks him. I won't describe it until if we know it's any good or not. So with sneak attack, because
so it's with advantage. So you roll it again.
Do I need to press it? Oh, so just roll it twice, right?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Highest number. Whee!
Oh,
Like it.
Great. So
for you.
I'm going to give you the option here because this is tell me what it looks like.
Okay.
So let's do a kill on this dead goblin.
So Oshi pushes the rapier through the air, and the goblin sees a glint of silver as the rapier is punctured all the way through their lung and then pulled back out, and you hear the ribs crack. And then they fall to the floor.
Great. This goblin's going to hear that, run in, and he's going to attack you, Oshi. The scimitar. Hits for 3 slashing. Okay, Urki.
Okay, so I've just been locked back in the cage again. I'm trying not to react. I think I will cast a spell on the goblin who just locked me in and try to hit him with the sacred flame. And he must make a dex saving throw or take some radiant damage.
Yeah, he fails.
Ooh,
That's a big fail.
that's a major fail.
Yeah.
So he takes
1d8.
Yeah, I configured this funky, so I have to just do it directly.
Cool.
5 points.
So the blind, like, you guys suddenly seems like blinding light, like, as it kind of like shoots through. But it sounds more like owls. And the sounds of birds and streams. Roughly the sound of rain. As this goblin takes 5 radiant damage, and it looks pretty screwed over at the moment. Like after the blind, it's like it's a creature that's been underground for so long, it's been hit by like some sort of sunlight. Yeah, and he gets a bit of light. Anything else, Urki, you want to try and do?
No, there's not really much else I can do. Well, correct me. Am I able to, if I have a cantrip that has a casting time of a bonus action, am I allowed to cast that as well?
You've just done a cantrip, so I know you can't do a spell in a cantrip. A cantrip and a cantrip, I'm not sure.
I can hold it. So
Let's do precedent. Let's just say yes, and then Dan, please tell me if anybody on chat goes nuts at me. So let's say yes, you can.
because I think the only time you're allowed to cast 2 spells in a round is if one of them is a cantrip where the casting time is a bonus action.
Yeah.
But I don't know for sure. But I will then cast Shillelagh on that plank of wood that I took from the other room.
Perfect.
And so I now have a slightly magical club.
So the D8, very nice. Yeah, I think I'm going to say yes to that. I think that makes sense because it's an action and a bonus action. You're not using any spell slots, and the only rules is that you can't do 2 spells. So, and it's not, it's a cantrip. So I think that's fine. Okay, so you suddenly hear, "Rah!" and you see Meepu leg it up to this goblin. Where is Meepu? Okay, and he's going to hit it with a dagger. And he's going to get it with advantage. Great. And he hits him for 5 piercing. And you can hear him just like, that's bad. Oh god, I can't remember the name of the dragon now. Calcryx? Calcryx. He's like, this is my Calcryx! And he's like, and he's like stabbing it. And he completely like pretty fucks up this goblin actually, leaving Tunk to hopefully finish this guy off.
So Tunk, as far as Tunk knows, is still hiding, and is still playing hide and seek. So persuaded that his way of hiding, which is as good as him just going hands over eyes, has worked thus far, and he's essentially invisible. Turns to Pups and says, "Are we hiding or are we fighting?"
Pups just goes.
So Tunk then, sensing that his little fairy friend is in danger, runs out and says, "Time to play hide and seek."
Okay, I'm just going to do a quick opportunity attack against you.
I wasn't actually engaged in combat with him, though.
Yeah.
It's up to you. Don't mind.
I could say that they were engaged in that combat together. I mean, especially you were hiding though, weren't you?
Well, he 13
hiding.
hits.
Now, hang on, you were hiding though, weren't you?
I mean,
you were hiding.
I don't know whether he knew I was there or not.
I think you were hiding. So let's say no, that doesn't happen. Yeah, it doesn't happen.
Blur of a dwarf goes past.
So then you run over to the guy outside the cage.
And says, "Time to play hide and seek." And two-handed Warhammer is going to try and play Squash the Goblin.
Ooh.
Oh, What does that look like? Finally, Tunk hits something.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun.
He just needed that big rest, that big nap, you know?
Tunk's still sleepy, but he's efficient. So, in an almost cartoonish way, Tunk hits this goblin at the top of the head, and then its head goes into its shoulders, and its shoulders go into its feet. And as it's left as like a kind of pancake on the floor, Tunk kind of bends down and goes, "That's a pretty good hiding place, goblin."
Very nice. Is there anything else you want to do?
I'll just look to Fairy and go, "Is Fairy still safe in this house?"
Very, very safe. They put another lock on the door.
Can Tunk come in? Tunk can't fit in.
And as you're laughing, you kind of look down and you see this crushed bones of a goblin, and you notice a little, what you call a mini sword in the body, like crushed within all the body bones. Is like a little, you think is a little sword. Okay.
Okay, cool.
Baggi. Yes, Baggi.
Baggi comes up to the final goblin, if I'm right.
Yeah. So you'll take advantage on this.
Yeah. And because she's so pissed off about her bow being broken, she takes out her 2 battle axes and just attempts to absolutely slaughter this final goblin.
Okay.
Come on.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Oh, my good lord. This is absolute mincemeat. Right, okay.
Yeah.
What does this look like?
Basically, because she's so angry that you took it, or one of them took it, she's going to literally she's going to slice one arm off, and she's going to slice the other arm off, and she's going to slice off a leg, and another leg. And finally, she's going to take a swing at the neck, and his head just rolls off.
Oh. And it kind of like, as it lands, it's like,
just a scratch.
and it kind of falls and dies.
Yeah.
Great. So I'm going to go out of turn order now, as you kind of manage to kind of massacre the goblins. And I'm going to go straight to Tunk and the mini sword.
Does Urki see Tunk grab the mini sword?
I think you see Tunk looking at the mini sword.
Oh, I think that's the key to the cage. That was because that was on the goblin that put the lock on, right?
Mm-hmm.
If he sees the key, Urki will say to Tunk, "I think that key unlocks my cage now."
Does Fairy want little sword?
Processing. Yes.
Okay. And Tunk hands the little sword across to Fairy.
I'm assuming the bars are either narrow enough or spread apart enough that I could reach through and unlock it from the inside. Okay. That'll probably be quicker.
Yeah.
Well played, Kurt. Well played.
It reopens for you. Okay. So I'm going to say that you, the rest of the night goes without a hitch. So Urki, do you decide to go and sleep inside this time, or do you just stay inside the cage?
I will still stay inside the cage because technically the plan worked.
Yeah.
and I know what I would do differently this time as a fake captive. So I'm fine staying in the cage.
And Tunk, do you go back
Actually, if I stay in the cage, I will put the lock back on because I now have the key to it.
Okay, cool. That's good. Cool. Wicked. And Tunk, do you go back into the room as well?
Well, Tunk kind of bends down to Urki and just says, "Does Fairy want company?"
Normally I would say yes, but Tunk, I think to rest and sleep through the night, I should probably be here alone.
Okay. Yeah. Tunk farts asleep, so probably best.
Yes, definitely go into the other room.
And then
Okay. Good night, Fairy.
And Tunk goes into the other room, and as soon as they got you, like, Oh, thank God. You've just been holding it for so long. Okie dokie. So, so we're going to go for the rest of the night. It goes without a hitch, and you manage to kind of sleep your way through, and you get through a long rest. As if for the same idea, we're going to go for a little break ourselves, whilst the characters make breakfast and stuff. So we will see you guys in about 5 minutes' time, where we will hopefully get past this room. See you later.
Huzzah.
Bye.